Welcome to the first installment of Matt's Minutes. These short video segments are designed to share ideas and resources with you, focusing on the four NEAT indicators. Today we will be discussing Indicator 5.3b, establishing secure teacher-child relationships. As you can see on this rubric, the left-hand side describes the frequency of the interactions, and the right-hand side provides examples of the types of relationship skills we might see in classrooms. I wanted to begin with this particular indicator because we know the importance of building those relationships from the beginning of the school year. This quote is one of my favorites because it speaks to the importance of building those connections and relationships. When we move beyond simply having compliant students, we have truly connected and built long-lasting relationships with our students. In today's segment, I'm going to focus on a variety of strategies that fit in either the empowerment or accountability categories. These strategies have come from resources and ideas that I found on Twitter or other social media outlets, as well as through the many observations we've seen in the classrooms. The first category of strategies is empowerment. This particular slide shows 4 different ways that you can increase the empowerment of students in the classroom, which will help develop a deeper level of relationship building. The first one invites students to select their own cooperative groups. As I walk around the buildings, I've noticed that there are many different ways that students are selected to be in different cooperative groups and for different purposes. How often have we allowed the students to pick their own groups? I know as a teacher I was guilty of that. I picked the groups for them because I thought I knew what was best for them, and many times I did. But maybe if I let them choose their groups from time to time, I can develop that level of trust and respect that we haven't afforded them in the past. The second one is letting them choose what activity they want to do. Does one size really fit all? If we differentiate the learning activities, we're going to better meet their needs, and they're going to value the opportunity to really shine and show what they can and can't do. We need to empower students to let them step out of the box. Maybe we ask for their input. What lesson or activities could they come up with that might be able to show their knowledge, show the mastery of the skills or concepts that we have set forth through our learning objectives? And this last one I think is one that I wish I would have done more of. Having the students rate their level of engagement through the lesson. When we seek their input, we're modeling for them a life skill to provide feedback and then to implement that feedback to create change. These are just 4 examples of how we could empower our students in the classroom in a hope to develop longer lasting, deeper relationships. The second category is accountability. Obviously, we want to create a positive culture. One of my favorite quotes by Todd Whitaker is, "The best part of being a teacher is that it matters. The hardest part of being a teacher is that it matters every day." We don't have the opportunity to be off, and that's not fair, but it's true. Our students count on us, and they need us to be there each and every day with that positive attitude. Creating a culture of accountability. I think it's very powerful when I'm out in classrooms and I see teachers who are providing positive behavioral and academic supports. We all know the quote that says, if a child can't read, we teach them to read. If a child can't add, we teach them to add. If a child can't behave properly, what strategies are we doing to provide those behavioral supports so that there is a level of accountability in the classroom? And the last one, which I've seen in many classrooms, and I think it's a very powerful strategy, is to create those accountability partners. One example we had was or that I've seen was there were accountability partners talking about some learning experiences, and the accountability partner stepped up and helped the other person, showed them how to record those home learning experiences, put them into the format so that they can count toward their home learning goal. Uh, it was powerful to see two third grade students embrace this accountability partner and be there for one another. So again, those are just three different strategies to help build accountability. So hopefully between the 4 empowerment strategies and the 3 accountability strategies, you might have found a way or two to increase some of those positive relationships with our students. I have a brief video here that I'd like to show. This video is about developing a classroom culture.
All right, back in 3, 2, 1. Establishing a strong classroom culture is essential because it's sort of like the bed that you plant the flowers in. You have to have that in order for things to flourish and grow. Students have to feel safe in your classroom. You have to normalize error. Is it okay to make mistakes? Yeah. They have to know that it's okay to try and try and try again. Mistakes are easy to fix. That you will actually learn more if you fail often. So I'd like to share something. I have a really serious conversation with my students at the beginning of the year about their ownership in our classroom culture and how each of them is responsible for maintaining our learning environment. I believe in myself and my ability to do my best. We've written a classroom pledge together. I can learn, I will learn. Establishing our hopes and dreams and goals for the year that we then use as a measure for our behavior throughout the rest of the year. If someone's offending or interrupting or not staying on task, we will actually stop and have a conversation as a class. Is this something that's going to help us achieve our hopes and dreams, or is this something against? And the students are able to make that judgment and respond to each other. And hearing it from your peer that you're interrupting my learning is oftentimes more effective than me redirecting. And go. So taking the time to really have students buy in to the idea that we're on a journey, and if we're all doing the things we're supposed to do, we're going to get where we need to go. I am too focused on my hopes and dreams to waste today. I am college bound.
This quote here, I think, sums up the role that we have as educators in creating those positive, secure relationships in the classroom. I'd like to finish with a brief story from John Gordon. John Gordon is an author who writes many short stories, inspirational stories, The Energy Bus, Training Camp, The Seed, The Carpenter. If you haven't read any of his stories, I'd recommend it because they're really quick reads but powerful, inspirational books. But he wrote a story, or a brief little article about his visit to West Point when the USA basketball team was there. And I think I'd like to end this video segment with this brief story. When I visited West Point a few weeks ago, the USA basketball team happened to be visiting at the same time. Head coach Mike Krzyzewski brought the team there to understand what it truly means to represent the United States of America. Coach K knew the place was special. After all, he attended West Point, played basketball there under Bob Knight, returned as the head coach after his 5 years of military service, and coached there for 5 years before becoming the head coach of Duke. But Coach K knew the players wouldn't fully understand how special the place was just by talking about it. They had to experience and feel it. He said, "We can't talk about this place, see a movie about this place. You have to feel this place. You go to a place like this. You get it." Coach K knew it was the same when talking about service and sacrifice. He couldn't just talk about it. The players had to feel it. So at the beginning of their visit, Coach K brought the team to the West Point Cemetery where they had a meeting with family members of fallen soldiers. The players on Team USA listened as the family members told them about their child, who they were, how they died serving their country. The players may have understood the concept of service and sacrifice before, but now after seeing the graves of the fallen soldiers, listening to personal stories of service and sacrifice, and feeling the loss of the family members, they truly got it. It's also a powerful lesson for all of us. Feeling is more powerful than hearing. So the next time you have an important message or lesson to share, instead of thinking about ways to tell it, think about how your team or audience can experience and feel it. When we hear a message, we will learn, but when we feel a message, we will be transformed. So with that message, think about how we can transform our relationships with our students in the classrooms. Have a wonderful day.